What's up, y'all? Welcome to the show. I'm Lemar. That's LJ. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you for listening and watching the podcast and the YouTube channel. It's growing a little bit more every week. If you guys want to email us, that's still open, even though nobody emails us at lemaranlj at gmail.com. That's Lemar and LJ at gmail.com. All right, so what the hell are we talking about today?
All right, we're going to talk about Dwayne Wade. Uh,
Okay.
the fact that this is going to be his last season, and it should have been his last season 2 years ago. And I hate to see great players, in their last few seasons they play shitty. I like when players just retire when they're at their peak.
Mm,
So because you never know when they can come back. Like it always leaves a little bit much to the imagination.
yeah.
Like guys who play 10 years and then retire. Barry Sanders. And, some people get injured, so you never know. Like, say, like a Larry Bird, he only played 13 seasons, but in 10 seasons, he already got three championships and like two MVPs. He
Mm,
was already considered like one of the best uh, small forwards ever to play the game. So he
mm,
could have retired in 10.
right.
But he had real bad back issues, so he had to retire. But with Dwayne Wade, he played like at least 3 or 4 seasons too long. Um, he he was definitely falling uh, falling down. Like especially for a guy who wasn't much of a skill player, he couldn't really shoot. He had everything. I think his whole career was based off athletic ability. Like he was just a freak athlete for someone his size. He wasn't tall. He was just big, strong, muscular, can play defense, and could run fast. That's why he had that nickname Flash or whatever that his grandpappy called him, I guess.
He's
But
stupid.
yeah, he was a freak athlete, and a lot of people liked him in the league. So especially LeBron.
Yeah, he was real likable. As far as his career goes, yeah, he's definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's won what, three championships, and
Yeah,
uh, and I look at, and as great as a player he is, because yeah, I agree mostly with what you're saying about his athletic ability and he's just a hard working player. So he had to pretty much make his path. I don't know if you saw his video, his 10 minute video he put out the other day about announcing his comeback. His one more season, but he was talking about how he has to work hard to get into Marquette, and the path that he took wasn't an easy path, because he was sort of overlooked because he wasn't really super talented. Like he wasn't like you said, super talented. He wasn't a great jump shooter. He had a decent mid range shot, and he could get to the foul line. He was tough as nails. Got a lot of heart, and I always look at him more as like a great number two player and a good number one. Like he's a good number one, but he's a great number two player. He's like I put him in that Scottie Pippen category because Scottie Pippen was great. Scottie Pippen was a great player, but he was a number two player. You know what I mean? Like,
thank you for saying that because a lot of people are saying, okay, we're going to add something else after that when you're done with this. But go
okay,
ahead.
yeah. So he's definitely still a first ballot Hall of Famer, and like he's well respected around the league. And I'm I'm gonna miss him personally because I like the way he plays the game. But yeah, he did get hurt a lot, and I wonder how much how if he had more of a healthy career, how much higher he would be, or if he'd be about the same status. He'd probably be about the same status, I would think. But um, I mean, because a lot of people are already really high on people. Like most people are higher on him than me and you are. As even though we do like him and respect him, I think we pull back just a little bit on him compared to everybody else. So, but great player nonetheless. Now, what did you want to add to that?
Okay, I was just thinking about this the other day. Actually, I was thinking about this because I have 2K19, and in the game there's a feature where you can take Like all the stats and like everything about a current player added to a player in your franchise mode, like
Mm-hmm.
maybe like a rookie that you draft or you create a player.
Mm-hmm.
So I made a player that was just like Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was coming out of college just like Michael Jordan, but he didn't look like him. He was a shooting guard just like Michael Jordan, but he
Mm-hmm.
coming out of college, and I made another player
Did you make him
like
look like?
Scottie Pippen.
Did you make him look
Not,
like Klay Thompson or something?
nah, nah, and I made another player who was like Kobe, and I made another player who was like Scottie Pippen. So I was like, okay. So they got drafted. The player Jordan went by himself, and the player who was like Scottie Pippen went to the team, and the player who was like Kobe went to the same team that Scottie Pippen went on. So I thought about that, and I said, you know what? How many championships would Scottie and Kobe would have won
Win
if they played
together.
together? And I was just thinking about that. I was just like, well, I'm not sure. Okay, think about the championships that the Bulls played, that the Bulls played in. If they had Kobe, young Kobe, and Scottie Pippen. Okay, the first time they played against the Lakers, when it was Magic's
You
last
said
shot.
you said a young Kobe, like early in his career, Kobe, or
Early
Kobe
career.
around how old he is when Jordan was around that age.
Oh, but Ronald Jordan was around that
Okay,
age.
okay.
Yeah, um, if he would have played against the Lakers at that point, would he have beat the Lakers? Yes.
Hmm. Yeah, the
Him,
Lakers definitely. Yeah, because the Lakers
if
were
they would have,
on their way out.
yeah, the Portland Trailblazers. Yes, they would have beat the Portland Trailblazers.
Probably, yeah.
You think they would have beat? You think they would have lost the Trailblazers?
No, they probably would have beat the Trailblazers. Trailblazers were
Think
really
about that
good then,
lineup.
though.
They had Clyde Drexler, Clifford,
Cliff
uh,
Robinson, Terry
Robinson,
Porter,
yeah,
um,
Jerome Kersey,
Jerome Kersey. Um,
Buck
uh,
Williams,
who was the other? Who's the other forward they had? They had another forward.
Buck Williams.
Or maybe. Oh, Kevin Duckworth. Nah, nah. But they did have Kevin Duckworth, but that's the. But I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. But yeah, they had a nice team. I mean, they probably would have beat Portland. But what about
Phoenix, no.
Seattle? What about? Oh yeah, I forgot about Phoenix. Yeah,
Phoenix,
Phoenix would have beat them. Right, Phoenix would
Phoenix
have
would have
beat them.
beat them.
Yeah, Phoenix
Phoenix would have
probably would
beat
have
them.
beat them.
So that's one championship off. Okay, okay. When they played Seattle, Seattle would have beat them. Okay,
Maybe.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That Seattle team was the best.
To me that's a bit of a coin toss. But
But
Seattle, but
but if you think about that, that '96 Bulls team is one of the best teams of all time, and
right.
Seattle beat them that first game. Seattle,
Seattle was down 3-0 in that series,
Seattle was down 3
and
nothing
then
that
they won
series.
two, and then they won two straight and made it look, made it look respectable. And
Okay.
what they did after that was they put Gary Payton on Jordan, and then they won two straight. And Jordan didn't shoot that well in those couple of games either.
If they put Gary Payton on Kobe, you think it'll be the same story?
um, maybe I don't know. Probably, probably. I mean, because
See that the thing is about Michael Jordan and Kobe. People like to compare him because Kobe fashions his game after Michael Jordan, but Kobe's way more aggressive than Michael Jordan.
yeah, Kobe's more aggressive, right? And
Jordan can be taken out of games, sadly. Sometimes,
I wouldn't say taking out of games.
what you go if you put Gary Payton on him, Jordan will find a way around it. He won't keep shooting.
Right.
Kobe will keep
That's what I was
shooting.
gonna say. Right. Jordan wouldn't be taken out of games. He would just adjust to what was going on in the game. Kobe would just keep taking those shots. Like yeah, like nobody can take Jordan out of the game. Jordan is just gonna be Jordan's just a smarter player. So he's just gonna use his teammates more when during those situations. But Kobe's just like, nah, I'm just going. Like you think you shutting me down? Like nah, like that's the difference. You know what I mean? I mean, now Grant Jordan can get that way too, but he's still just a smarter player. So, um, now what about Utah?
Utah,
I
I
think
think they
Utah
split.
wins or at least one.
Yeah, I think they split.
Yeah.
But see, the difference between me and you is you think that Seattle wouldn't beat them. I think Seattle would. I think
Well, I
that
think it's a
team.
toss up. I think it's a toss up. I think it's a coin flip. I don't know. I don't know. I think I think now as far like now Utah, I could see Utah, like you said, we could split, they win one, lose one, or I could even see Utah winning both. I don't know, but definitely it definitely would be a different story if you put Kobe there. Definitely be a
Okay,
different situation.
how about those two Houston teams that Jordan wasn't around for? I'm not sure if
Um,
Jordan, if not, all right, if Jordan were playing for the Bulls at that time, do you think that they would sweep them both times? I
Sweep
think
them?
so.
No,
Yes,
I think they would
I
beat
think
them.
so. But no, I'm not talking about sweep them as a series. I'm talking about
uh,
like beat them both
like
times.
diamond. Oh yeah. I think so. I think
I
so.
think so too.
I think the second team might have had a better shot though when they got Clyde Drexler. They were more dominant the year that they were the sixth seed in the playoff run that year.
what you go? They started gelling at at the right time.
Right. And they just started running through cats though. They was busting ass once they got
Yeah,
to that.
and they sat here and beat the shit out of. First off, the Magic wouldn't have went to a championship. Yeah,
No,
that
no,
Magic team would.
no,
You know what I'm saying? That Magic team would have won. But
no.
if they would have had, I think that they would have beaten twice.
Yeah,
Um,
probably, but the second one would have definitely
but
been closer.
but with Kobe in that team, I don't know. It's kind of a toss
It
up.
might be a one. It might be a split too. That might be a split.
It might be a split, or you might have Houston winning both of those teams.
Maybe I don't know. Um, but I don't know. All right, so I guess we can be done with that, so we can start talking football because
Yeah, let's talk
we got a
about
lot of
football.
football to get to. All right, so we'll start with there's three actually stories that happened on Sunday and Monday. So we'll start with the Vontae Davis Chargers Bills. Bills was getting destroyed at halftime. And then Vontae Davis, the cornerback for Buffalo, just decided that he's going to retire right then and there at halftime, which is like crazy. like I never heard of anything like it's something like this never happened, obviously, but like he just retired. And as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, there's still really no explanation as to like the exact. He probably I don't know. Maybe he went into this season already on the fence, and then the bad start by Buffalo he's just like, you know what, I can't go through a whole season like this. That's the
Well,
only guess I can come with until I hear otherwise.
well, I'm skimming through a little bit right now, and they're saying, and like the team captain, the starting linebacker Lorenzo Alexander, a leader in the locker room who never appears to quit and play, much less an entire second half of a game in front of me, that he was told at the half that Davis quit, retired during intermission. Alexander described Davis's vanishing acts as completely disrespectful. Say, I don't have anything to say about Vontae. I'm going to give him a little bit more respect that he showed us today as far as quitting in the middle of the game.
Yeah, that's a rough like.
That's something you never live down because you only play football. You only get to play football for a certain amount of time, even if you're losing.
Right.
Even if you're losing, like you still fucking play. You
Yeah.
play and you like. I would never live that down. I could never live quitting. Like unless something happened, or unless like I'm just not feeling it. I wouldn't wait. I wouldn't wait for halftime. I would play the game and see how I'm feeling after the game.
Right.
Like I would like okay, so like I don't want to play this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But then I would just feel an obligation to my teammates. I'd be like, all right, well, since I'm already here, I'm already practiced, I'm already in the starting lineup, team's already here, I'm going to inform the players like, listen, I'm going to retire after this season. But I'm going to
Yeah.
give everything I got until the end. That's it. Because I've been doing this my whole life, so why not?
Right. Now my thing is like, if you wanted to retire after that game, I would have been okay with that. I mean, I think, this would have been a good time to fake an injury. but you know what I mean? Because like you said, living that down, like, there, the NFL is so done with you. Like, I tried
There's
to.
nothing you can do in the NFL after that.
Right.
Once
Right.
you quit at half, like once you
Even if
do
you
something
change
like
your
that,
mind, that's it. Like,
like you know what I'm saying? Like who can hire you as a staff? Who can
right.
hire you? Who
Right.
can hire you as like you just messed up your entire career? Unless you have something else to fall back on that has nothing to do with the NFL, then like do that. Make a podcast, I guess. I mean, I'm not sure what you could possibly do with your life after that has anything to do with football, unless
Yeah,
something has
it's gonna be
a
hard.
professional.
I'm not gonna say that he won't be able to get a staff job, but
Who would
it's
listen
definitely
to
gonna be
him?
hard. I mean, it's hard.
Who would listen to him? Like I wouldn't
Uh,
hire him. Like, get the
yeah,
fuck out of here.
it's yeah, and I try, and me, I'm always a glass half full kind of person. I was really trying to find a good reason and a good way for this not to be so terrible for him, but you can't get around doing that. Like, you
You
quit on your
don't do
team,
stuff like
like especially football. They're really big on that type of thing. Like, you cannot quit on your teammates. Like, you're done. Like, you can get away, you could probably get away with that in maybe any other sport, maybe basketball, but that's it. Like, I'm not sure if you get away with it in any other sport except for maybe basketball. I mean, and even
maybe
that,
baseball.
yeah, it's just this is one of them things, man. Like, you can't do that. You can't do that. Um, uh, I don't know. And the Chargers proceeded to kick the shit out of Buffalo after that too. By the way, so I guess we'll move on to Josh Gordon.
Yeah.
They announced Monday that they was about to cut him because he he quote unquote betrayed their trust in some way. I don't know what he did. Yeah, I don't know if it came out what he did yet, but that's what they said. And right before they was about to cut him, the Patriots traded for him because he said that he wanted to go to the 49ers or the Cowboys. And as a 49er fan, I was hoping we got him because low risk, high reward, and that's exactly why the Patriots got him because that's how they exactly how they do business. They go and get players that are not worth anything, but they know they got mad talent. They get them at their lowest their lowest possible status, and then they grab them and run them for a year or two, and then when they get what they need out of them, they move on. So the Patriots traded for him, got a 5th round pick, and we'll see how that works. Well, how do you think he's gonna do in New England?
Well, I don't understand is why would Cleveland, knowing that Bill Belichick would not even give them the quarterback that they wanted, why would they give him the wide receiver? I would give him to anybody else.
Yeah,
Fuck Bill Belichick.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, you tried to trade for your next quarterback, and he said, "Fuck you, I'm not trading you," then, even
right,
though you had a better deal on the table.
yeah.
So if I'm them, I'm trading to anybody else but him.
Now I don't know how many offers they got for him because I think they were about to cut him. If they got more offers, then they definitely should have took somebody else's
You should have took
anybody
you know,
else's offer.
if they if the Pats offered him second round pick, someone offered him a 6 round pick. Take the 6 round pick.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but since they did only get a 5th round pick for him, somebody else had to have. If nobody else gave any offer, then I would have just I mean, I don't know. If nobody else gave an offer, I guess you
I
take
rather I,
something
I,
for him.
I rather cut him and just wait for him to go past the waiver wires and someone
Yeah,
should pick
because
him up anyway.
he would have ended up with San Francisco or Dallas,
Yeah.
most likely. So
So
yeah,
so
they would
so
have been
that so
better off. They would have been better off just cutting them and saying screw this 5th round pick. But yeah, I don't know. But as far
yeah,
as
that's what I would have did because like Bill Belichick goes out of his way to fuck over a Cleveland Brown squad who
who
the
fired
management
him,
the management who was there before is not even the management who's there now. You know what
right?
I'm saying?
It's not
Like
even a
the team,
franchise. It's not even the same
what
franchise.
you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The team that fired you is the Baltimore Ravens. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's the team that fired you.
Right. Like, it's not even the same franchise. It's a whole different organization. He
You know what
don't
I'm saying?
care.
Like you should be pissed off at Baltimore,
Right.
not this team. This is a team that came out in '99.
Right. That's crazy. But yeah, I don't know. They um I mean, since we're talking about Cleveland, we might as well talk about the game that they basically blew. They could have been 1-0-1 again. They were beating the Saints the whole game,
No kicker. That's
and
what happened.
the Saints came back, and then the kicker just shit the bed. Like, he got he like they fired him immediately. They cut him immediately after the game, and man, they're like they just can't catch a break. Like, It's crazy. I mean, now they would have lost. Well, and I can't. Well, based on the last kick didn't cost them anything because they would have lost anyway. But I think he missed 3 kicks altogether in that game. I think 2 field goals and an extra point or something like
Mm.
that. So they would have won had he made all his kicks. But yeah. And meanwhile, what's up with the Saints, by the way? Like, I mean, I know Cleveland's an improved team, but the Saints do not look good so far. They lost to Tampa last week. I mean, now granted we saw what Tampa did, but we'll get into that. Um, and then barely beating Cleveland this week. But New Orleans is like that. I should have known better than to think that they were going to be that good this year because they play good like every other season. Like they don't play good consistently. This year they made the playoffs last year. They was close to getting to the Super Bowl or at least close to getting to the NFC Championship. And so this year they're due to suck. So I don't know. um, Anything you want to add about the Browns Saints?
Well, the only thing I want to add about the Browns and the Saints is maybe they should go to their quarterback now. They should maybe the Browns should
Little
go
Browns.
to the number. We should go to the number 1 pick now.
You're whispering.
And maybe we
uh,
should go to the number 1 pick. Like but excuse my voice. I had pneumonia, so it's a little bit rugged. But maybe they should go to the number 1 pick.
um, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think if they want to, yeah, I mean they're gonna go to him eventually. I mean, I guess now would be as good a time as any. But I
And
think I think Hugh Jackson, huh?
Never won a game, so now. Yeah.
I think Hugh Jackson's gonna stick with Tyrod Taylor a few more games. He's gonna stick with him as long as management allows him to, because management eventually is gonna say, look, it's time to put Baker in the game. But Hugh Jackson wants to win games. He's trying to save his job. I don't think he's gonna save his job no matter what. Only way he can save his job is if he wins the Super Bowl, or at least get to the playoffs. Even that could save his job. But I don't think they're going to the playoffs. So I mean, I think they could win some games. I think they could win like 6 games or something this year. But they're not gonna be a playoff team or anything like
Six
that.
games. I
With
think
Tyrod Taylor as the starter, they could win 6 or 7.
yeah, well, we'll see.
But
Um, let's go. Let's go to my Giants.
all right.
We are a dumpster fire. We have no offensive line. Our quarterback is playing like a 37-year-old quarterback. Um, um, Now I keep hearing about, oh, we should have drafted Sam Darnold. I'm not worried about it. Sam Darnold's not setting the league on fire. So I'm not really worried about Sam Darnold. Oh, we had a chance to draft. I was like, there's always a chance to draft another quarterback. Always. There's always another quarterback.
Yeah,
The
but
thing is,
quarterback's tough. Quarterback's hard to get.
but that's the thing. Like there's always another one that's coming around. So
Yeah, but are you guys gonna be in position to get him though? Like it's
well, if we're playing like this, we're gonna be number 1 pick. You know what I'm saying? Like now, like talk to me now in 5 or 6 years. Is Sam Darnold still playing for this team?
Well, I think it's only
So
going to take about 2 years to know if it's the right move or not.
well, they remember they had Mark Sanchez, and they had those 2 years. They went to the AFC Championship back to back after
Yeah,
4 years.
but
He wasn't
nobody
even
ever
playing for
thought
the
Mark
same
Sanchez
team.
was that good though. Even with those years, nobody ever thought he was like a real like talented quarterback. We thought he was good enough for what the Jets had with their defense, the Jets' defense and running game, but nobody, even after a couple seasons, yeah, there was a little buzz around him, just a little bit after the 2 AFC Championship games, but
But that's another thing. Like they always do that with the Giants. They always say, "Oh, well, why'd you get this guy?" But the thing is, that's a lot of teams. Like you can say the same thing about the Bears last year. Why didn't they get Patrick Mahomes? They drafted up. Why did they get Pat Mahomes? Because
well,
think
well,
about it.
the thing about them, I didn't hear anything about Mitchell Trubisky, so I definitely didn't think he was going to turn out to be anything. Like I did hear something about Mahomes. Well, put it like this: I heard a little about Mahomes when Kansas City traded up for him. Then I
They
started hearing
trade up. They
about him.
traded. We were going to get Pat Mahomes. They traded up right before us because they know we were going to get him.
Right now, and as far as the Bears, like they shouldn't have, like I thought getting Mitch Trubisky in the first place was a shaky move. Like I never thought, I didn't know much about him, but once I started hearing about him, I didn't hear anything that good. So it was just like, hey, y'all, and they just like what made them pursue this guy? You know what I mean? I don't understand it. I mean, he doesn't suck. He doesn't suck, but you could. But I don't see anything special so far to make me believe that he's going to be their quarterback for the next 10 years. So I don't know.
Speaking of this team, this Giants team is 0-2. The coach that we have, Pat Shermer, he's showing that he's just another Cleveland coach. Uh, I've seen nothing in this game that makes me think that this guy is capable of running a franchise. Um, has done nothing to shore up this offensive line. The defense is
Well, I
terrible.
ain't gonna say he's done nothing. He did something. It's just not working yet. And to be honest,
We
not
we
to cut
we,
you off,
we didn't sign anybody on our offensive line.
I
Nobody.
signed Soldier from the Patriots, the
That's
center,
about it.
and
Well, what you go? Because we didn't have a left tackle. Flowers was supposed to be a left tackle when we drafted him, but
now he's the right tackle, right?
he's a right tackle, and he had a better game this week. But the left side still was collapsing. So it's just like okay.
I'm gonna. I'm gonna.
And plus, even with time, Eli can't get the ball out. The only thing that's actually worked for us this year, uh, only two things that have worked for us are Barkley. He's been pretty decent this
Definitely,
year,
definitely.
and which I don't understand why people. Oh, we shouldn't have drafted Barkley. I'm like, why? He's actually working out, so I don't have a
Well,
problem with drafting
well,
Barkley.
because I mean, and again, it's compared to getting a quarterback. Like if we all know Barkley's good, and nobody
There's
nobody
going to be
thought
another
nobody thinks Barkley's
quarterback.
gonna suck, but people just say, if you got a chance to get the top
But
quarterback in the draft when your quarterback is getting old, then then you probably should take it. That's
well,
all.
then that's going to be another quarterback to come around next year. There's always another quarterback, always,
Yeah,
always.
man. Well,
Every single
it's not
every
that
single year
simple
that,
though.
but that's the thing. Every single year, there's always that quarterback that comes around. You know what I'm saying? Like every single year, there's always that guy oh, this guy is the greatest thing to ever have sliced bread, but he turns out to be average. You know what I'm saying? There's always that guy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really too concerned about it. You know what I'm saying? If what's his name turns out to be good, then I'll be good. I like my running back. There's going to be a quarterback to come out next year. There's always another quarterback, always.
You make it sound like
So,
this. You make it sound like it's easy to get a good quarterback.
but it's easy to get a quarterback. Period. You know what I'm saying? There's always a good,
Well, it's easy to get any position.
especially nowadays. Especially nowadays, like there's, it's not like it was 10, 15 years ago where you couldn't find a quarterback where guys had to be molded and like guys come out pro ready and there's lots of them. It's not like there's lots of good quarterbacks out there. There's lots of quarterbacks who are pro ready and lots of quarterbacks who are overrated, who are drafted early. Lots of quarterbacks who don't turn out to be anything. But there's a lot of decent quarterbacks. So but guess what? There's not any of. There's no superstars out there. None. There's no superstars in college. And what you go once what's his name retires. Once Aaron Rodgers retires, there'll be no superstars in the NFL because I don't
Uh,
see. Yeah,
I, th-
I don't really.
I think
I don't
Carson
really see
Wentz got a shot at being a superstar.
who.
I think Carson Wentz got a shot at being a superstar quarterback.
We'll see
Uh,
about we'll see about it, but but like I said, he was drafted number 3 overall out of a small college. You know what I'm saying? So uh, I'm not really concerned about finding the quarterback because they're growing fucking trees nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like
all
it's
right.
you know what I'm saying? Like like if you suck bad enough, you can find a good quarterback.
All right. Now what about the Cowboys? We haven't talked about the Cowboys side of it. They still, the offense still. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott looked better, and but the offense still, Dak Prescott looked a little bit better, but you can still tell that he's not there yet where he should be. They gave him, they put him in the option play a lot, and they mixed it up a little bit more. It looked better, but at the end of the day, his numbers were still pedestrian numbers. So, but the problem is, they just both offenses are not looking that good. Giants or Cowboys. Both defenses, especially the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys defense is a little underrated. I think the Cowboys got a solid defense. I thought the Giants, defense looked okay, but they just couldn't score points. It's when you got somebody as good as Barkley and OBJ, they shouldn't be struggling as much as they're struggling on offense. Cowboys, they struggle mostly because they don't. Because Dak Prescott right now isn't looking that great, and plus they don't have weapons on. They don't have they have Ezekiel Elliott, then they don't have anybody else to throw to. So, and Dak Prescott is not a guy who's going to carry a team. So you need to put they need to put better weapons around him if they're going to be successful. So I guess we can move on to the Vikings Packers. So we had another tie game this week. These tie games are really starting to get on my damn nerves. I remember we had a conversation about this a couple of years ago or whatever. You talked about how much you hate ties and stuff like that, and I was like, it's not the worst thing. But then when you start getting more than one in a season,
That's the worst.
Now you're really making the standings look stupid. Fix this tie shit. And I didn't notice somebody was telling me that they made it 10-minute quarters. I didn't notice that. Did they? Overtime?
I never really paid attention to it.
Yeah, I didn't notice.
Yeah, I didn't notice it.
Yeah, well, but yeah, I mean, they had another kicker issue, which is, by the way, that's another thing I wanted to get into. Yo, kickers suck. Like, what the hell is going on?
You know what it is. You know what it is. They moved the extra point back around 20 yards,
But even field goals.
So now everything's not automatic. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying, that happened a few years ago. As far as field goals go, like a lot of teams aren't really putting a lot of stock in the field goal kickers. They said we can get another rookie to do it.
Yeah.
So you don't have those field goal specialist guys anymore.
You better start getting those veteran kickers. Lucky for me on my fantasy team, I got who they consider the Baltimore Ravens kicker the best kicker in the league, and that's who I got. And so far, he's been doing me pretty well. So, it's like I was listening to somebody, and they were saying that their theory, I think it was Colin Cowherd, their theory was about the kickers, why they're struggling so much is because now that they are missing extra points, that kind of gets in their head, and it's one of the things where the kicker is like baseball player or like a golf player or whatever, where you're sitting around, you got to sit there and think about how you missed a kick, or how you missed a putt, or how you how you're in a batting slump, and it just only makes it worse because you got time to think about it. Whereas any other position, basketball, you miss a shot, you can get another one within another 30 seconds, or if you're a quarterback, you're throwing the ball 30 times a game, or if you're running back and you fumble, you're gonna get the ball again. You know what I mean? So, where a kicker, you gotta sit there and wait. So that makes a lot of sense. When you gotta sit there and think about it, and you only got one damn job, so you're just sitting there, and some players on the team looking like, yo, he better get his shit together and stop fucking us over. So that's in his head. You know what I mean? So I was like, yeah, that's actually a perfect theory. And I agree with that. But yeah, they gotta. I like that they moved it back because it definitely makes the game more interesting. I hate it when my team is playing, but I like it for just in general as a fan. That play is not automatic anymore, and it used to be like maybe like in a whole season, maybe like 2 or 3 kickers would miss a extra point in this whole season. Now you get 2 or 3 a week in the NFL, so that just changes everything. Now you got to pay attention to the extra point. It's something that you got to watch now and make sure that they make it. So, but kickers better get their shit together. Anything you want to add?
Well, the only thing that's good about my team is our kicker is pretty decent. So, I'm not upset about that. But yeah, I've noticed a lot of missed kicks, and a lot of people are losing their shit about it.
Yeah, basically.
They're actually holding auditions outside of Cleveland fans were actually kicking fucking field
Hey,
goals.
for real.
So
That's funny. Yo, these fans be getting mad creative with they with they dumb shit. Everybody's fun. Everybody's a comedian nowadays.
especially the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills fans are crazy. They put people through tables. You know, it's like
Oh
ECW.
yeah,
It's like ECW back in 1999.
yeah, that shit. Yeah, I remember that video. Oh, that's crazy.
They do it every
Um,
week. It's not just one. They do it every week.
are you
I'm
for
not
real?
joking.
They always do that.
Every week.
Oh,
They do it every week.
that's insane. That's insane. Um, they had did something about the Vontae Davis thing too. I saw. I can't remember what it was, but anyway. I guess we'll move on to the Chiefs Steelers.
Now,
Uh,
if you want to talk about a superstar quarterback, that this goddamn motherfucker
Pat
is
Mahomes.
this guy, man. 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, he is on
Like
fire right
you
now.
know, he only I think he only missed like something like 5 passes,
Mm.
and he was just rocketing that ball into the end. Like it was just ridiculous. I was like, that's old school. Like
Yeah,
just taking over a
just
game.
running gun.
Yeah,
All
running gun.
Houston
That's
Oilers.
yeah. I like that type of quarterback
Yeah.
with a strong arm who can deliver that. Like they've got they got a future superstar.
Now,
And the guy that they what?
now if they can get a defense, then they actually got a
Hey!
shot at winning the Super Bowl.
Don't talk about their defense, man. Justin Houston plays for the Kansas City Chiefs, and you actually ate at his brother's house. All right.
I did. Who's his brother again?
Yeah, in Georgia. Remember
Right,
my
right,
cousin?
okay,
And
right,
my cousin's married. My cousin's married to his brother.
okay. um, but they well, maybe he about the only one playing defense over there then because they give up damn near as many points as they score. So, but all of a sudden Tyreek Hill looks like a top 5 wide receiver now that he's got a quarterback that can get him the ball. Like he look, man, that offense. Whew, I just hope, like I said, I hope they can get a defense because I want to see them compete, and I think it's time for Andy Reid to get a Super Bowl. Like he's had pretty much a Hall of Fame career. He just doesn't have a Super Bowl. like he needs to win a Super Bowl, man. Like I mean, some of it is his fault because he's had good enough. Donovan McNabb was a good enough quarterback to win, but he didn't get it done with him. Alex Smith is debatable. Like it's Alex Smith, he's not a guy that's gonna get you over the hump. But but Andy Reid needs to win a Super Bowl, so they need to get a defense together. Because now it looks like they got themselves a quarterback. Like he might be the next elite quarterback if he keeps playing like. Now, granted, only 2 games, but he does have a good coaching staff.
10 touchdowns and like damn near damn near 800, 900 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna be the next Ryan Fitzpatrick. You know what I'm saying?
Before we move on from this, we got to talk about the Steelers side of this because they were playing the Steelers, and Steelers are now 0-1-1, and we already know
They are
about
falling apart.
Yeah, we already know about Le'Veon Bell holding out. They had pictures of him on a jet ski in Miami yesterday. And I mean, not even yesterday. I think on Sunday during the game, I think they had that. But now Antonio Brown was talking about on Twitter. A fan basically was saying he should be lucky that the Steelers paid you the contract. He was like, "Well, then trade me." And then yesterday on Monday, he didn't show up for practice or whatever. I'm like, wow, what's going on? And his agent came out and said he had some personal business or whatever, but I don't buy it. So yeah, they're definitely falling apart. Mike Tomlin might be the first Pittsburgh Steelers coach to get fired if you don't turn it around. And he just said like 2 years ago that he's gonna get it buttoned up, but he hasn't really gotten it turned around yet. Terry Bradshaw came out and said he's not a very good coach. He said
Terry Bradshaw's been saying that for years.
Yeah, he called him a good cheerleader, but he said but he's not a very good coach. And Ben Roethlisberger has criticized him a few times. Him and Todd Haley, the offensive coordinator who was there at the time, but now he's in Cleveland. Um, but yeah, I hope he gets it together. I mean,
He's not gonna
and if,
listen. He's not gonna get fired. He's not gonna get fired.
probably not. Probably not.
He's not gonna get fired this season or next season. He will not get fired.
Probably not based on
He
their
will not get
history.
fired.
Based on their history, probably not. But I'm gonna leave a
He
small.
will not get fired.
I'm gonna leave a
That is
small.
the-
I'm gonna leave a
that-
small wiggle room.
zero.
I'm gonna leave small wiggle room for the fact that he's a brother. Now
No,
I know
I'll
about
tell you
Pittsburgh's ownership.
because
I know about their
because
ownership.
no,
So you don't gotta
this
say
is
it.
this is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They will not fire him. They will not fire him.
Okay.
He will
All
be
right.
there for the next 2 seasons. That's a guarantee. Like they just made the playoffs last year. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? They get up to a rocky start this year. You know what I'm saying? Like um they held on to Bill Cowher when he wasn't even a good coach. You know what I'm
I
saying?
wouldn't
Like
say
they
he
had
wasn't a
him.
good coach. I mean, he was a good coach. He wasn't
There
a
were
great
years
coach.
where they didn't make the playoffs. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
but there was years that they didn't have a good quarterback. They were for a team that didn't have a really good quarterback for years during this whole time there until he got Ben Roethlisberger. He had average to below average quarterbacks the whole time he was there. So considering that they were a playoff team enough times, you know what I mean? Like they had Neil O'Donnell.
they weren't a playoff team a lot. They were a
Yeah, but
playoff
they
team.
didn't have a good quarterback for most of that time. So you
Yeah,
can't really,
they did. Yeah, they didn't. They didn't. But that's the thing. Like they stuck with him. You know what I mean? Like they stuck with him even though he was losing. It kind of doesn't matter when like it doesn't matter. They're still going to get rid of you if you. Hey, but he doesn't have a quarterback. Doesn't matter. They'll still fire you. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these teams will just fire you anyway.
that's
You know what I'm
true.
saying?
But what I'm saying
So,
is,
but Pittsburgh, they will just stick with you.
right. So and yeah, the average team. I mean, every other team would have fired him in that situation. That doesn't mean he should have gotten fired. That's what I'm saying. Like Pittsburgh did the right thing. They knew he was a good coach, but they also knew he didn't have a good quarterback. So you know he did pretty well considering he did not have an above average quarterback for most of. Neil O'Donnell was the best they had. Neil O'Donnell was okay. Was a pretty good quarterback. So and then he got to the Super Bowl with him. He lost, but he got to the Super Bowl with Neil O'Donnell. So like they were built off defense and running back then. So but it's hard to win a championship that way. It's it happens every now and then, but it's hard to win that way. So your defense usually has to be super dominant, like Tampa Bay, Seattle, and Baltimore. How dominant their defenses were during the times they won. I mean, I threw Seattle in there, but Russell Wilson's a pretty good quarterback. So I'm not saying Russell Wilson isn't good, but Seattle was a very dominant defense during that year. So in order to win without a good quarterback, your defense has to be all time. You know what I mean? In most cases. So, Bill Cowher, I mean, not to go on too long about that, but Pittsburgh is definitely in a rut right now. I don't know if they're gonna come out of it this season or not. It's still only 2 games in. They're only half a game out of first place because of the ties to half a game.
I'll give you another thing. They just need to pay Le'Veon Bell. Pay Le'Veon Bell.
I don't think they need to pay him. I mean, I think Pittsburgh. I mean, especially since the other guy looked good so far. I mean,
they haven't won anything.
I don't think it's because of Le'Veon Bell. They gave up like 40 points to the Chiefs.
Yeah,
they scored 37.
Well, like I always put in the fact that you don't have one of your best players. I think your best player on offense is Le'Veon Bell. So, I'm saying they're scoring a lot of points, but when you have a good running game, you can keep the guys off the field for a little while. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think they just paid a motherfucker, and they don't want to pay him. Like and I don't blame Le'Veon Bell.
I don't blame either side.
I don't blame Le'Veon Bell. Like, no, I blame the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, you're not going to run this guy into the ground and not pay him. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you do all this work for you, fucking pay the guy. You know what I mean? Like, even if it's like he doesn't want to sign a 1 or 2 year deal, okay, granted, you're not going to get 5-year deal. You know that. anywhere, not anywhere in this league. Otherwise, somebody would jump on it like, hey, let's trade for Le'Veon Bell. No one's doing that. So
Well,
what the way I see it is like this. You know what I'm saying? Like he just needs to sit out for this season, even though because he knows they're not going to pay him. So I'll just say, okay, you're not going to pay me. I'll just sit out for the entire season, and I'll work out. And next year I'll be a free agent. I
well,
hope.
well, he can't sit out for the entire season, or he has to come back. If you miss 10 games due to a holdout, then that contract is like it didn't happen. You gotta play. You gotta come back another season. So he has to come back.
That's the dumbest fucking
He
thing I
has to
ever
come
heard.
back before the season is over for it to count as a season. He has to. He
Well,
has to.
how
He has
many
to
games
be
did he
active.
miss for?
He has to be not holding out for like 6 games. I
So
think
he can come
after.
back for the last 6 games of the season.
Yeah, he could do that. Right, but he can't. But if he sits the whole season now, then they can just bring him back again, and he can't do nothing about it. So, yeah, like
I'll have to look into that because I know that there's something in the language of that contract that doesn't make sense to me. Because if my contract runs out, then
but if you
like
don't
you're paying,
report, but if you're not
that's the thing.
reporting,
That's the thing. But he's getting a game check right now,
no, he's
or is he
not.
not getting a game
No, he's
check?
not. He's not getting a game check. He's
If
losing
he's not getting,
he's losing $800,000 a week every time he doesn't play. So he's not getting paid either. So that
so
so
then my
yeah.
contract runs out.
Say it again.
So then my contract runs out. My contract's only for years. It's not for like my contract is. If I sign a contract for 5 years in 2010, my contract comes out in 2015. Just because I didn't play 2015 doesn't mean
Well,
that.
I think because I think if you hold down, you don't report, then that changes everything. Because it's like it's like you're not. It's like it doesn't count as a year because you're
I'll have to look into that. But go ahead. I'll just
Right.
take your word for it. But I have to look into that.
Okay. So we'll move on to the Eagles Bucks. So the Eagles look like pure shit, and they got the asses kicked by Tampa, and then immediately after the game, Carson Wentz is cleared to play. But we'll go back to that in a second. Yeah. So Deshaun Jackson, it seems like he kicks the shit out of the Eagles every time he plays them. They said this is a stat I heard. They said he has the most 50-point games for the Eagles, and he has the most 50-point games against the Eagles. so every time he plays against them, he kicks the shit out of them. And I heard that stat before Sunday. I heard that stat going into
I didn't
Sunday.
know. I didn't know he still played in the NFL. To be honest with you.
I knew he still play. I just don't know what team. um, yeah, like he had another over 50-yard touchdown against them again this week. So he has big games. He at least one big play against them every time he plays them. And Ryan Fitzpatrick is playing great right now, But then as soon as they announce him this full-time starter, then he's gonna go back to being Ryan Fitzpatrick. If history has any indication, because when he was with Buffalo, as soon as he got his extension, the millisecond he got his extension, he became a bum. I mean, instantaneous. The very next week he was terrible, and he was terrible after that, and they were stuck with him for at least like 2 more years. I think he signed like a 5-year deal, but they were stuck with him for 2 years at least before they could cut him or do something with him. And it was just ugh. So right now he looks like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL for the first 2 games. Like the only player that looks better than him is Pat Mahomes right now. But
Well, you still. Well, the thing is, they have a terrible situation out there. They got this moron who's supposed to be the starter out there getting suspended for doing stupid shit. He's gonna be back probably next week.
no, what's he got? 3? He got 3 game suspension.
Yeah,
I thought it was 4.
I thought it was 3 games.
Maybe it is. I don't know. But I don't think. But I don't think they're gonna bring him back. I don't think he's gonna start right away if Fitzpatrick is playing like this.
Yeah, he's not gonna start right away. But like at a certain point, you gotta put him in.
Do you? Only if Fitzpatrick.
You kind of do because it's Ryan Fitzpatrick. You gotta do. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So
right, that's the only reason.
you know what I'm saying? If it was like another rookie, then no, I would
Right.
never give him a shot again.
Right,
He'd
like-
never be my quarterback again.
Yeah, if Fitzpatrick, whenever Fitzpatrick snaps out of it, it becomes goes back to who he is. Then you go back with Jameis Winston. But until then, you just let his ass sit there and rot on the bench because he put himself in this situation. Now, but again, like you said, he'll eventually play again because nobody believes in Fitzpatrick can keep this up. Like he may this might be it actually. Like next week he might be back. Who knows? But even if he has a bad game next week, I still would start him for a couple more games just to see, like because he should be able to he should be able to have one bad game without you know. But I don't know.
Well, he's so much on the short leash,
Yeah.
um, just based on the fact that he has a history of doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as he starts throwing interceptions or overthrowing guys, that's when you gotta like, all right, Ryan, you gotta come out.
Right.
Like he's one of those guys you can actually pull out of the game. You always say never to pull a quarterback in the middle of the game, even if he's having a bad game. He's one of those guys you can do that to.
You'd be like, go to the reliever.
Yeah.
um, as far as the Eagles, yeah, Carson Wentz will be back, and I mean, honestly, I don't even know if he's ready, but I guess they just like, you know what, screw it, just throw him in there. But which I think is not a good idea if he's not ready. Just wait in a week or two. Don't panic over one loss. It's only week 2. Y'all won the first game. Now if they was 0-2, then I can see them saying, all right, you know what I mean. But they're 1-1. That division, nobody's
The
gonna.
division is terrible this year. I thought it was gonna be good.
Nobody's
terrible.
nobody's breaking away. Nobody, so just be patient with him if you don't think he's ready. Give him one more week even, but whatever, But I don't, just don't jeopardize this dude's career. Like y'all might have a superstar. It appears y'all have a superstar quarterback. Don't mess it up. um, moving on to Jacksonville and New England. We talked a little about New England already, but we didn't talk about the game. So going into the game, a lot of people thought Jacksonville would win this game. Um, I didn't think they would only because, well, I ain't gonna say only because, one of the main reasons was because I knew the running back Fournette was gonna be probably out. So and he was out, but it didn't matter because they still won the game. The defense, did their thing, and by the way, Blake Bortles actually looked pretty damn good, like, which was a surprise because I don't, nobody. I mean, I think Blake Bortles. I mean, he's not that good of a quarterback. We all know that he's not a great quarterback. He's an average quarterback. But I think people think he's actually worse than what he is. Like people think he sucks because I think when you think of Blake Bortles, you think of Blaine Gabbert, who was there right before him, who did actually really suck for Jacksonville. Blake Bortles
he sucked for Jacksonville. He sucked for y'all.
Yeah. so I think when people think of Blake Bortles, they're thinking of Blaine Gabbert because Blake Bortles isn't as bad as Blaine Gabbert. Blake Bortles is an average quarterback. He's a Tyrod Taylor or something like that. They're average guys. They're guys that if you put the red team around them, they can not mess it up. But you're probably not going to win a champ. You're not necessarily going to win a championship with them, unless like I said, Jacksonville doesn't have a dominant defense though. So maybe he can't be good enough to get the job done. But
imagine if they had a quarterback, they win a Super Bowl.
Right? Yeah, plain and simple. Plain and simple. If their quarterback situation was better,
if they have Pat Mahomes, they win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, if they had,
they go 15-1 and win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so, yeah, but they did win. But they did win again. New England is never that great in September anyway. They experiment a lot. They're just not as sharp. But come November is usually when they're just clicking. They usually go undefeated in November and December, or close to undefeated in November and December. So, like if you get the Patriots early in your schedule, that's the best time to get them. Jacksonville felt like they had something to prove. They were more in for this game. They came out and played like it, and good for them. New England, no big deal to them. They're gonna get Edelman back in a couple weeks. They got Josh Gordon. And all of a sudden, in about 2 weeks from now, they're gonna have weapons again. They already got Gronk, and all of a sudden their offense is gonna look really good. Most likely, like unless Josh Gordon can't get it together, but I think I think eventually I think eventually he'll at least be able to play games. Even like now again, if it's his problem, I don't think it should be this serious. Like what's happening, you know what I mean, with this situation. But if it's something else besides that, then okay, then get it straightened out. But I like I'm not too worried about New England. Jacksonville, they needed that game more than New England did.
Well, 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 like I said, Jacksonville is a great defensive team. They have a great running game. That's a Tom Coughlin team, so they're gonna beat New England every time they play them.
It's just a Tom Coughlin thing, huh?
This is a Tom Coughlin thing. He has Bill Belichick's number.
Well,
So
I mean, except for in the playoffs last year, but
in the playoffs, so, playoffs.
but all right, we got two more quick games to get to, and then we can wrap this up. I want to talk about my Niners a little bit against Detroit.
And you
Garoppolo
were
put,
shitting bricks.
not really. I mean, I don't feel any pressure this year. Like and as a matter of fact, I was at the store right when the game was on. I knew we were up. When I left, it was halftime, and we were up by like a touchdown or something like that, or 3 points even maybe. And then I ran into a 49er fan at the store, and he was like, "Yeah, the 49ers are up 20-10." I was like, "Oh, okay." And then he was like, "Actually, they're up 27-13 or something." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." By the time I got home, it was 30-27. I was like, "Jesus Christ, this guy blew the lead already." I'm like, but I wasn't like, I'm like, whatever. Like, I don't feel a lot of pressure because I don't think we're gonna make the playoffs or anything anyway. I just want to see improvement, and I'm fine with that. But Garoppolo definitely played better. I like our running back Breida. It would have been nice if McKinnon was healthy because I want to see how they work together. They're both fast. They're both like quick running backs. I like them. I like Dante Pettis, our young wide receiver. I like our young talent. I like the team. I still think the offensive line is a little shaky. Um, I think our defense it looks good at times. Um, I don't know why I keep forgetting our linebacker's name from Alabama, but he'll be back this week. He was suspended for 2 games. He's suspended for 3 games. He'll be back after next week. So our defense should get a bump up right there. The Lions definitely looked a lot better in the second half. The first half they almost was looking like how they looked last week, minus the turnovers, but they definitely looked a lot better this week. So we'll see what happens with them. But I'm just happy my boys won. Anything you want to add about this game? Probably not much though.
Yeah. I actually watched this game.
Hmm.
I was in a I was in a state because like I said, I'm sick, so I was actually drinking some NyQuil and having some Smirnoff, and it was oh my god,
Trying
this
to
game
get
was
drunk.
awesome. No, this game was awesome when I was watching. I was like, who's the guy? Who's the guy with the beard? Oh, it's a coach. Oh, god damn.
Who Matt Patricia?
Yeah, but if your team has a New England assistant coach, you're gonna suck. That's just
Yeah,
bottom line.
that's what it appears.
Like he, the Bill Belichick coaching tree is fucking terrible. It's just him. It's just him. It's not like anyone else. Like he doesn't give a shit about teaching anybody shit. He just learns with the New England way, and that's it. You go off with your own thing. You try to do the New England way somewhere else, and you can't do shit.
Yeah, doesn't
So,
work. I mean, hey, it didn't even work
so,
for Belichick right away.
so yeah, um, so Matt Patricia, I think this is going to be one his one only season in Detroit.
I think they'll give him 2 seasons.
They're gonna the players don't even like him there.
Yeah, that's
You know what I'm
true.
saying?
That's
Like
true. I forgot about that part.
you know what I'm saying? Like he's not gonna coach there again. Like this is his last season. He's gonna be a offensive coordinator somewhere else, probably
Defensive coordinator.
Oh, sorry, defensive coordinator somewhere else, probably Oakland or
Yeah,
Vegas, one of those places.
yeah, yeah. One of those obscure teams.
You know what I'm
I
saying? Like Arizona.
and oh, speaking of Arizona, they look terrible again. I mean, it was against the Rams. We weren't even gonna talk about this game, but the Rams look good so far. They beat the shit
The
out
Rams
of
ramrodded.
they beat the shit out of Arizona. What'd you say?
The Rams ramrodded them.
I mean, they haven't played
Yeah,
anybody yet, but they look.
Sam Bradford. They need to just put the rookie in. Put Josh Rosen in.
People
Put
keep.
him in.
Why do people keep saying that Sam Bradford's good? Like he's not that
He's not
good.
that good.
Like they're saying he's good, he just can't stay healthy. Like no, even when he's on the team playing, he's not that good to me. Like I never saw
I,
anything.
I don't know why he keeps getting chances all around the league. He's with Minnesota and Philly. Like he keeps on getting chances all around the league, and no one really knows why.
Yeah, it's like
He
can
like
we just do
he
away with Sam Bradford already?
yeah, like he was the number one pick a long time ago, and no one really cares about what he's.
But you know what they say? They always say that though. They say they will give number one. They will give first round picks all the chances in the world. For like a first round pick will have a full 10-year career, even if he sucks, just because everybody thinks that they can get that first round talent out of him. like
Yeah, yeah, like
they'll
Matt
be on
Lyon.
5, 6 teams, but they'll still make a nice full career because they were drafted in the first round.
Yeah, like Matt Lyon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he's on TV. Like this dude. He's on TV doing commercials. I'm like, why is Matt Lyon doing
He's
commercials?
doing commercials.
Yeah,
Oh
he's
yeah, I think
doing.
I did see him in a commercial. You're right.
I was like, why is he doing commercials? What has he ever done? Like,
Yeah.
okay, he wants some college stuff. So who cares?
I think he's a college announcer now too, or something. I think he does college
It,
football now. But
you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like who was the quarterback for the Miami Hurricanes in 2002 when they had all that talent. You know what I'm saying? Like no one cares because he wasn't even the best part of that team. They had like 8 running backs and fucking Jeremy Shockey and Andre Johnson and all these guys on defense. Ed Reed. You know what I'm saying? Those are the best lineup of all time. The quarterback was the worst part of that team.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm saying? Nobody's giving these guys time of day.
yeah. College, you don't need a good quarterback at all to win. Like NFL is the exact opposite.
In college, the stats on quarterbacks is terrible.
Yeah,
The stat like they are terrible.
you just think about Alabama, Ohio State, like two of the best teams in the country.
They're all running teams.
They don't have any quarterback to
They
be
don't have
to
quarterbacks. They
meet
have
you.
runners. You know, if you're a college team, you have a good quarterback. You ain't gonna make shit.
Right.
More than likely, you ain't gonna make shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the last quarterback who did good was Clemson, and that was
Cam Newton.
no, not
Oh,
Cam
I'm sorry,
Newton.
Auburn. Actually, Auburn.
I was over, but
Deshaun Watson with Clemson, right?
Deshaun Watson.
Okay,
There you go.
before that, it was Cam Newton with Auburn, probably.
Yeah,
Did they win or did
yeah, they can't. Yeah, Deshaun Watson won. He
I know they
won.
won? Did Cam Newton win?
Yeah, Cam Newton won. They won.
Okay.
That was the only time they ever won.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, I couldn't remember if they. Yeah, okay, yeah. So those are the only two times like that in recent history where a great quarterback from college was a first round pick in the NFL, won a championship. Like they just like usually the best quarterbacks are not on championship teams in college. It's funny how that
Yeah,
works out. Um,
it's funny how that works, but
Speaking of Cam Newton, oh, go ahead. Are you done?
go ahead.
Yeah, the last team we're going to talk about was Panthers Falcons. I mean, I talk about it because it was two good teams matching up, but I mean, I don't really care that much about these two teams, but it was two good teams matching up, so we might as well give it a little, talk about it a little bit. Yeah, Atlanta won. Carolina's defense is good though, but Matt Ryan for some reason does pretty good against their defense. Cam Newton actually had a pretty good game. Like Cam Newton, as far as throwing the ball, Cam Newton has been a little inconsistent since the Super Bowl year. Yesterday, Sunday he looked really good throwing the ball. They lost though, but he looked really good. And Atlanta, after losing to Philly, a lot of teams got them in the Super Bowl this year. I don't, but a lot of teams got Atlanta in the Super Bowl.
I don't
I
even
think
know.
they. I think they. I think they're a contender. I think anybody in the NFC that makes it to the playoffs, it can make it to the Super Bowl. Like I think the Rams, Philly, obviously. I think Atlanta could, but I don't have them there. But I think that they're good enough. Um, I think Minnesota got a shot. If I think like just because of Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay, you can't count them out. I think every team in the NFC is completely capable of winning the Super Bowl. Every team, every playoff team in the NFC. AFC, Pittsburgh, New England. I don't think Kansas City only because I don't think their defense is so bad. Like if their defense was just average, then okay. I mean, it's still early in the season, but they weren't a good defensive team last year either. So, but at least they got more offense now. But which definitely will help them. But I don't know. But yeah, I got nothing else.
Yeah. Uh, mm.
I guess you're done too. All right. So I guess that'll wrap this up. maybe you'll be better next week. Hope you get better. But
Yeah,
definitely
man. I apologize, man. I'm in another world right now.
at
You know what I'm
least you didn't
saying? Like,
at least you didn't quit at halftime.
see what I got here?
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so it's done already. You know. So
That's his third one. Nah.
today, yeah.
But all right, y'all. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I don't know if we're gonna, I don't even know if we're gonna post the YouTube part of it this week, but I'll see. But definitely the podcast. You'll already be hearing it. So we'll talk to y'all next week.
All right, take it easy. Fuck off.